This video is for the ladies and the gentlemen about how to smuggle your things into events such as concerts, raves, hip hop shows, whatever you want to go to. I will give you a foolproof way to do it that's tried and true. I've done it a million times at a million different places, and it's always worked, never failed, never anything has happened from it. So I'm just gonna give you that game for free. I don't even care. It is what it is. But before that, if you could please subscribe to my channel, that would greatly. Uh, Maybe that's the one thing I'll ask for that. I mean, seriously, like this is like you can get pre-rolled blunts, like like things that like would probably be a little more difficult, whatever. Like it was never an issue. I'm not even joking with you. I have so many examples. So if you could subscribe to my channel, I'm like really trying to put out some good content. And yes, and if you're returning, thank you. If it's your first time, welcome. Thank you for coming. And yeah, um, uh, before I get into that, I want to tell you a funny story. I'll keep it real quick, and it's about the first time that I ever like smuggled some shit into an event, and just how it was like a calamity of errors that still ended up working out. So it was Cypress Hill Smokeout 2010. That was at the NOS Event Center, which is in San Bernardino. It's a pretty famous, I had been there a couple times for like raves and stuff like before this. But this was Cypress Hill Smokeout, which was like hip hop and like there was like it was like hip hop, reggae, and like rave. They had multiple stages. Like Slightly Stupid was there. Cypress Hill. It was cool. It was really cool. And So we're going, and like everybody's going, like a big group of people that I know are going. So we go, and like the whole time, like because like in at that time I was selling a lot of weed and stuff, and like I saved up like an ounce just to smoke, like just to roll up and bring with me. And I just thought to myself like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna sneak it in. Like I'm just gonna like take all the blunts, and I'm gonna put them in a plastic bag, and I'm just gonna roll the plastic bag up, and then I'm gonna tape that to make it like a big circle. Like imagine the thing that you would put a toothbrush in, like something like that size, and I'm just gonna put it in my pants, like, and it'll be all good. That was like really like my thought the entire time. So the night before, we went over to this kid's house. Rest in peace. His name was Miles Rowe. He's Unfortunately he has passed away from what I've been told. But we were at his house, and there was like maybe like 4 or 5 people, and I just gave everybody like I don't know 10 grams of weed or something, and I gave them like 2 packs of Swishers, and I just said roll up as many as you can, blah blah blah, whatever. So everybody rolled like as many up, and like I just remember having a bunch of blunts, and I think I smoked like a good like 5 or 10 of them like while we were there, because I wanted them to like not feel like they rolled them for nothing, and I didn't need that many. So I was like, yeah, for sure, But I think I had at least like an ounce worth of blunts, because each blunt was like 2 grams or something. You know what I mean? So really, that's only like 14 blunts. So uh, we roll them up, and the next day, taking off, I bring a roll of scotch tape with me, okay? And it's like just the regular roll of scotch tape. And I'm in a car with like a couple of my homies from high school. Like we left early. It was kind of like right around the time of like my friend's birthday. Like 3 of our birthdays were really close to that time of the year. So we're going, and like we're starting to get closer. We're starting to get closer. And then people start asking me kind of about like, how are you going to get them in, blah blah blah, cuz we were smoking on the way up there. We fucking smoked like 5 blunts on the way up there too. And I was like, dude, I got it. I got this. I'm going to get it in. Don't worry about it. And we're going. And when we get close, like I start thinking about it, and I'm like, all right, I should probably like start to like get this like going. So I go and I grab the roll of tape, and I take the tape and I go to pull it, and literally I pull it for this much, like this much. I pull it, and it's the end of the roll of the tape, and it just pulls off, just, and like I'm stuck with a piece of tape like this big, and I was just like, fuck. So I did actually use that piece of tape because I just took the blunts were in the plastic bag, so I rolled it as tight as I could, and I used that tiny piece to like cover it like how you would like a Christmas present or something, like just try to do it as tight as I could, and I was just like, damn. So once we got to the area, when you go to an event like that, every single parking lot turns into a parking lot where like you can park, like where they'll charge you $5 to like $40 depending on where you want to park. Like just like a car dealership will have like a parking like sign or whatever, like, which is nuts because I went one year, like maybe like a year or two before this, and we parked literally behind a Wiener Schnitzel because we didn't want to pay, and we went back to the car and it was there and everything was cool, but like it was so sketchy, like because I've been there before where we tried that again and someone broke into the car and it was not cool at all. So it's just like very random that it was like that. So, anyways, like we're getting to Cypress Hill Smokeout, and we're by all these like restaurants. Like there's like a Jack in the Box, and there's a Carl's Jr., and it's like right there, like right across the street, like very close to where you get off the freeway and like come down to like get to where you need to park. So we go to this Jack in the Box, and we're like early, and I see these dudes that are sitting at the table, and they have these two big rolls of electrical duct tape, and like they were dressed like they were going to the event, like, so like I kind of just knew what was up. So I literally walked over there, and I was like, yo, do you think I could borrow your tape? And the guy, I'll never forget this, the guy, he like looks at me, and he goes and he grabs the tape, and he goes, take the whole roll, player. And I was in, and like I was like, dude, thank you. So I took the roll, and I went into the Jack in the Box bathroom, and like still this is tape that like I wasn't planning on using. So I tried to do it the best I could, and I tried to like kind of tape it like around my leg, and like I tried to just do it the best I could, man. And when I came out of there, the guy, like, I remember the guy was like, "Are you good? You good?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, good looking out." So gave him his roll of tape back, and we end up parking, and we go, and we have to get inside the event, and like, of course, this event, out of all of them, even though this is a thing that does happen at a lot of them, of course, this one, they're fucking not letting people in. They're supposed to open the doors at 12. It's like 12:45. People are hammered in line, like straight throwing up, wasted, like it's like everyone's turned up, like they're trying to get inside, and it was super hot. The sun, it was so hot that day. I remembered like thinking like ugh, and like everybody's drinking like Four Locos and shit, like it was gross. So like finally it got to the point where the line started moving, and like it got to the point where I uh, I went and like I went through my line, and like I got checked, and honestly, while I was in line, the bag started, because of the it started like getting hot and my leg was sweating. The bag started moving, and I was kind of tripping like where it was. I was like not comfortable with that. And like I ended up like still going with it, and the guy searched me, and he sent me through, and I was able to get through on that shit. But that like was not how I planned it going down at all, but that's how it went down. So now I'll get you into how to get shit in for yourself. So, if you're a girl and you don't want to use your God-given purse, that, you know, hey, if you're not comfortable with that, you know, not everyone is and stuff, and I'm not comfortable using my shit for like something like this, like, nah. But like, so no hate whether you do it or not, none of my business. But if you don't, then like there's even easier ways that probably, I mean, this might not be like a idea or anything, but for, I guess for guys it more is. But like, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a pair of underwear. You're gonna get like, well, I don't care if it's a thong or a granny panties or whatever it is, but like, you need to get the equivalent to like something that has a pocket in the front. And like for guys, I might as well do girls and guys at the same time. It's easier. Like for a guy, like you want to get like something that's like when you play baseball, and you play baseball or any kind of sport and you have to put a cup in, like literally, you just, all you do is you buy one of those things, and like it doesn't have to be perfectly fitting or anything like that, and you buy one of those things, and you like literally have like a pouch right there in an area where like they're not supposed to touch you at all. And like, depending on how many, like, let's say like you want to bring in blunts, right? So something that I would do is, it might be more difficult now, but there used to be a thing where like with swishers, it would be like a buy two get one three, where there would be three that would come in a pack, and I would have a way to find a way to put like at least five in one of those packs. So if I did that like four times, that's like 20 right there. Like, I just found a way to like put more in than three, just because like they're taking, with all the tobacco in it, they're bigger, but when you take all the tobacco out and roll it yourself, you can fit more in there. And the same goes for like a 5 pack. You can fit 10 inside of a 5 pack. So you just put that in the little pouch right there, and then like you're good. And if you get down on like pills or whatever, and you like, it's like last minute, you don't have anything, you're like, you can't go get like a thing from, like, honestly, Big Five would be the place to go to get one of those things, like for whether you're a man or a girl, like it doesn't even matter. Like, I've done it where literally like you go into the porta potty and you go and you get it, and then you just take that thing and you throw that shit away, and like you're good. Like, it's that simple. And then you got everything that you need. Like, you could put your weed in there. You could put like anything you want in there, and it's like very accessible, And from then on, then you got to be careful about, where you're at, and like, you have to know your surroundings and stuff, because I've definitely gotten stuff in and then gotten kicked out for having that stuff because I was not on my toes. And that's on me. I take responsibility for that. But for the most part, it's been cool. Like, I've been like cool, and the even better thing is the financial value of it. Like, because like I've done the thing where I've snuck weed in and blunt wraps in separately, and it's such a pain in the ass trying to roll a blunt like at like a rave or a music festival, like sitting against the back of a wall, or like in the grass or something, and it's all windy or like whatever, and it's so much easier to just have them rolled up already. So like, I can remember, like, I didn't even plan on like that being a thing at all, and I was just in there, like, and I was smoking a blunt at Cypress Hill Smokeout, and someone came up to me, and the guy was like, man, like, he's like, where'd you get that from, man? And I was like trying to explain to him, like, like, I brought it from home. And he's like saying, he was like asking me like, damn dude, like do you have any more? And like of course me at the time, like I'm like, nah, sorry dude, because like I want to smoke my shit, you know, like that's like my thing. Like I'm not gonna be buying beers, and like I don't want to like take fizz or whatever, you know. So like he starts talking to me, and he was like, damn man, like I would get, and then my brain starts turning, and I'm like, well, I was like, how much would you pay actually? And he's like, well, I don't know, I guess like it depends, like can you get it? And I was like, shit, for the right price, you know, like possibly. And I told him, like, I remember telling him, uh I was like, if you could do $40, because I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, like I would probably, there's probably like a cool $20 worth of weed in here. So the fact that I rolled it up, snuck it in here, whatever, I threw an extra 20 on there. I was like, I'll do it for $40. And like the blunt was a fat blunt, you know, it was a 2 gram blunt. So it's not like it was a horrible deal at the end of the day. And the guy just, he didn't even say any words. He took out two 20s and gave it to me. And that sparked an idea in my head. And like that was like something that I did like quite a bit from like for like a lot of events, that like people just loved having the blunt already rolled, just like easy to spark as like a cigarette, you know. And it was always worth it to me to just have like me and maybe a group of some friends, and like, you know, like we'd all be just chilling, rolling up blunts, we're smoking blunts, and you know, like it was just like a fun time, and it was like an easy hustle that, like, you know, especially the bigger the venue, like the NOS Event Center or like something like that, like it was just, it was easier. Like the smaller of a place it was, the harder. Like at like the House of Blues, or like a place that's like a club, those places are the places that like I would get like 86 from and stuff like that. But you know, that they'd be like, what is that? Like, and like, I would think it's cool, like, oh, you want some? And then the guy'd be like, did you roll that yourself? All right, we need to get an 86 over here. And I'd be like, fuck, man. And I'm like, I just got here. So that's a story I've already told on here. So, but anyways, other ways that there are that like I've definitely used before is, an easy way is putting stuff inside of the webbing of your toes, in your shoes, in your socks. They never make you take your socks off. I don't think I can ever remember. I know the police have made me take my socks off, but as far as a rave goes, like I swear I don't think they can make you take your socks off, and you just put like your stuff like right in the webbing of your toes, right there, right there, right there, and you can put like pills and like, you know, all types of like little stuff right there like that. Um, let's see, what are other ways? I mean, really, the main way for me that I've, oh, and let's say that you're a guy, like, you know, another way for like pills and like things of like a smaller nature like that. Let's say you have like a baggie, okay? Let's say you have a little baggie, or let's say that you like to participate in cocaine, okay? Then what I would suggest is, well, hopefully there's not dogs at the festival. First of all, I don't know how that shit works because I've never, you know, had to do stuff like deal with something like that. But I have done this before with other things where you take the baggie, and like, you know, if you're a dude, you know, and like you wear boxers, like me, I wear boxers. So, you know, boxers have this slit right here in the front, right? So, what I'll do is I'll take the bag of something. So, let's say you have a bag that has like some pills in it or whatever, and the bag is like filled to the top with pills, but there's like a little bit of space at the top right there, okay? You line it up with the seam of like this, and you line up the bag so that the bag is like right here underneath it, and you take a stapler and you take a stapler and you make sure that it's not going to puncture the bag, like at the part, like you want to try to do it at the top of the bag before the seam, so that way it's not going to puncture it at all. With pills it doesn't really matter, because a pill's not going to fall through a little thing like that. But if you're dealing with a substance like that isn't, that's more loose, like a powder or something, then you want to try to get it above the seam of your actual baggie where you like press it to close it. You want to get it on that little part above. And but like I said, if it's just like a bag that's like filled like with pills like that, then you just put it right there, and then you just put it literally right here. You put it right in front of where your manhood is, and there should be no reason why they should be touching you anywhere near right there in that directly close of a crotch reason. They might reach and touch your thigh, they might do that. It's good to try to keep, like, if you have those things, you might want to try to like push the edges in a little bit to make the edges a little bit softer so it's not like pointy. um, so that way if they do get close that they can't like feel it like that. But you want to try to get it in for like as close to the middle as you can, and you can even use a stapler when once you use the thing for the cup too as well, if you want to try to place something somewhere where like you just want to make sure for a fact that it's going to get in, that it's like right there where like that nobody is going to try to touch you right there, especially now with the way that things are. I can only imagine what it's like of them trying to explain to people how to search people the proper way without them getting sued by like a Karen or something. And I'm talking about 15 years ago. And like I said, I've done this a million times, never gotten close to getting caught. I've been taken out of the line and like specially searched. I've gotten my phone taken and had to turn my phone off and take my battery out to show that like it wasn't like a prop phone or whatever, and like put it back. Like I've like gone through so many different procedures, and I've been a security guard myself. So I know what they look for, and I know that like honestly, most security guards don't give a fuck what you have. Like you'll get searched by them and they'll take one finger and put it in your pocket and go like this and be like, "You're good." Like they're just trying to get a paycheck and go home. Like they know you're not bringing nothing crazy in there to some festival that like you're just gonna get down on, like whatever. It's not gonna hurt like the world for you to bring your vape inside of a concert, or like a water bottle instead of buying one for $15 in there. So, anyways, um, those are just like some of the ways that like I've done it and I've gotten away with it. There's actually another story where I was going to the Hudson in Gotham, which was in Riverside in the Inland Empire, and I actually ran out of, or I didn't run out of tape, but like for where I had to put stuff, like I wasn't thinking straight, and I just thought that I like had it down on where I was gonna put it, and I had an eighth of weed, I had 2 tabs of acid, and I had two pills of ecstasy. So I had all of that, and I had them all like in individual bags in one big bag. So I had it all together. And like I was like trying to, and they were searching people hard at the Hudson and Gotham, like on the outside, like at that place, they would search people like no joke. So like they're searching people, and I noticed like that it's an aggressive search, and I'm like trying to like move my stuff around and move it around, and I'm feeling weird, and like I'm able to kind of configure it to go like behind like my private area, and I'm able to get it like behind there. And the lady, like I can remember, she was a big burly lady, and she just like grabbed me and she turned me around, and she like went and she like touched me and everything, and touched me real close, and she just like did it real quick and she let me through. And the weird place about that is that place was the place where the security guards, even once you got inside, you weren't home free because the security guards were so burnt. They would go around and they would have their flashlights and they would come up to you just out of nowhere and they would just take their fingers and go in and try to open your pocket of your jeans and like try to see what you had in there and try to reach in and try to see what you had in your pocket. So like I can remember being in there and I took all my drugs because I didn't want to get caught with them. So like that's like a whole story for another different time, but like that was another time that like I got some shit in like on a way that like I didn't expect. But honestly, the jock strap thing and like the stapler in the area of like this like crotch region that I was talking about right here, like anything right there, I'm telling you, like if you just have a stapler and you just go in sideways and just like it's not going to move, it's going to stay right there and nobody is going to come close to that and you're good. And like all the way up, I would suggest when it comes to the blunts, putting it into the swisher boxes or into the like a smaller box that can fit the blunts. So maybe it's not exactly like the 5 pack with it being like that wide, but maybe something smaller, and then just trying to like cram them in, like sardine them like as best you can without breaking them obviously, and just so that way you can put them into your pants like that. And ladies, you can do the same with whatever you want to bring in that like you I don't know, it's probably not that good for alcohol and stuff, but when it comes to like blunts and joints and weed and pills and all of that, I would say it's a surefire way. I've done it a million times. I did it with lean, like I don't know, I can't remember what year that was, but it was Smokers Club. I did the same thing with the. I was able to take the bottle, and I put the bottle in, and I was able to staple it to a point where, or actually, no, I used tape. Also, you can use tape in a situation like that. I took the lean bottle and it was only like a 2 ounce bottle, so it was pretty small. And I actually had it like right there, and I took tape, and all I did was just put layers and layers and layers of tape just like right there, and I just taped it down, and I got that shit in there, and I poured up for like Flatbush Zombies, and it was really cool. And I even have video of that, and whatever. So, anyways, that's a couple of ways that I know of that are true for me. Um, it's all about, I guess, I don't know how things are. I haven't been to a show in a while, but those were surefire ways that I always did, and I never got caught one single time. So hopefully, this can do something for someone somewhere or something like that. I don't know. If not, hopefully, it was entertaining. And yeah, I'll leave you with that. I'm pretty sure my Eagles won. I haven't checked yet, but I'm pretty sure. Gang, gang. Woo! Go Birds. Let's go, baby.